from queening. This pawn can't be stopped, so the only way to try and win for white is if there is a checkmate pattern. Start moving this knight, and if the king captures, the rook is now free to go to g1 and grab this pawn and win easily. But wait, of course your friend will smell this trap from miles away. He queens instead. Now check. This poor king has only one square, and now we all do the same thing. We keep looking for more checks that lead to checkmate. Instead, use your full army and bring the king, threatening to checkmate like this on the next move. So black is forced to find some space to breathe. And now, are you looking for checks again? Don't. Just reduce the space around this king, threatening rook checkmate. But black can take, so the knight is not defended anymore. Defend it again. And when the queen takes this pawn, rook check, the king takes the knight. And now, how do you checkmate on the next move? Do you think this knight is able to stop this pawn from queening? No point starting with endless calculations. Please, what do you think is the winning move here for white? To find the answer, you had to use two chess tricks. One, the deflecting knight sacrifice. You sacrifice the knight, so this one is now too far away to stop the pawn. When he takes, principle number two is to always put your king one square diagonally from his knight, so the h-pawn is unstoppable. Let me show you. Knight c2. We push. Knight e3. Should you push again or play a king move instead? King g5 is the winning move. Same principle again. Knight c4, push, and the GM resigned because he saw that after knight e5, h7, knight goes there, but the king attacks it. The knight ends up in the corner. And now, how do you win the knight and the game? No, I don't want you to calculate it. I have a simple rule for you. Call the square. Just count how many squares are left for a queen promotion and add the same number of squares to the right. Remember this. If the king of your friend is not in this imaginary square, push your pawn because he can't stop it simply because his king is not in the square. But wait, there is an exception. If his king is behind the pawn, you obviously don't need this rule because the king is not fast enough to catch us. If the king is in the square, like here, you could still be winning sometimes. All you have to do is block his king with yours, so he can never get close to our pawn and we win. White to play. Can you draw with black? Do you know which pawn is the hardest to promote? The rook's pawn. Do you know why? Because with this pawn there is always this stalemate nightmare possibility, like here. And I want you to know that having more rook pawns won't help you. If your king stands in front, you can have as many as you want. There is no way to promote the first one. Can you save white from losing? Let me show you what doesn't work. The first thing that came to your mind is to push this pawn. He takes and you start racing. But here the king is on the same file as this pawn. So black promotes to a queen with check and wins. If we can't push this pawn, what are we supposed to do here? Let me give you a trick to find the answer more easily next time. 1. Is black going to promote with check, not allowing me to promote myself? And question number 2, do I have a way to create an X-ray when he promotes to win the queen? Answering these two questions leads to the beautiful answer. King c7. The king gets out of the way, so when the pawn reaches the square, there is no check. Black pushes, we push, he takes, we push, h3, we push, h2, we push. He gets a queen, but we have a nice little X-ray for him. Check, king moves, thanks for the queen, game over. But wait, if black played the correct move pushing this pawn instead, it would end in a draw after both players queen. Can you believe a famous grandmaster with a queen blundered in this position with white? He misjudged the pawn endgame and decided to sacrifice the queen against the rook. Black takes the queen happily, and now the GM takes the b pawn. And after king here, black managed to secure the draw with the nice move king here. White decides to push the pawn because playing king here instead is stalemate. You gotta be super careful with black, because if you take the b pawn, white wins after king takes b5. Black goes here, I go here, you go here. I take again opposition. You go here, I go here, and a red carpet for the pawn. Because the king controls the squares of promotion, so the pawn is unstoppable. But wait, I said the GM blundered when he sacrificed his queen, because after white pushes their pawn, I'm not taking it. I play the killer move king here, and if white takes the pawn, you see the difference? I now take the b pawn, and black has the opposition, and draws this game.